Well, we're back to wearing helmets in practice again. I don't know what type of soccer helmets or something, but the good news is we're getting healthy, and Motts will be back probably for the Duke game. Dan Adele will probably be ready for the Pitt game, but will not start. Outside of that, we're ready to go.
Dang not start. Do you have to limit his minutes, or will you watch it a little closer?
No, he's fine. We worked him out today. He's fine. It's just that he missed 2 days of practice. And
Having finished the 4-game stretch that we talked about for a long time, can you sort of reflect on that, how you feel coming out of it, and what ramifications are going forward?
you know, we're anytime you have a rough stretch like that, and you could be 500, it's okay. You know, you got two really good wins. Played okay at Notre Dame. We got a rough stretch coming up right now. So I think that's going to be for the rest of the season. And we just got to get as many wins as we possibly can. We know we're going to have one of the top 3 schedules in the nation when it's all said and done because our league is so strong. So we just got to play really one game at a time and see how much better we can get.
What did that game Saturday kind of reveal about this team's resolve in light of everything that you've been through with that stretch and then the travel?
It was the most bizarre situation I've experienced as a coach because it's not only we could not get out the day before, but now you have a 2 o'clock game. Now, we've left the day of for a 9 o'clock game, but to have a 2 o'clock game and then to not have a place you could land, and then when you did land, not to have a jetway, to get off the thing, they would just and then go to the hotel for 45 minutes. So there was a lot to it, but we got through it. We had one of our best players go down in the game, and VJ wasn't playing real well, and we had to use David Levitch at a position, and he came through for us.
I mean, if you're talking about a game that would have given you a whole lot of reasons or excuses, and yet you still come out with a 15-point win.
Yeah, it was a much needed game for us, but we weren't going to let anything deter us from getting a victory in that game.
Injuries are part of it. I mean, that was bad luck the other day, wasn't it? I mean, just the way that happened to Ding, and it has been for you this year with the concussion.
Yeah, it's obviously different players, different ways. Motts is really enjoying the concussion time.
Do you think this is your best shot blocking team that you've had in your coaching career? Close to it?
I don't know. It's tough to say.
But I mean, this team has really proven that it's especially.
Well, it's a good shot blocking team without question. Honest alone is a very good shot blocker, but we don't do a whole lot of things statistically well. So if you're looking for a pearl, you got it.
With Honest, is it just his natural ability? What makes
He's
him
long. I mean, he's got a 7'5", 7'4" wingspan. Ray's got a 7'4" wingspan. Even Jalen has got a 7'2" wingspan. So you got guys that are very long.
What about Honest's instincts? Are you seeing more of this year that really, I don't want to say been a surprise, but you've seen him take it a step forward?
Well, he's a very good playmaker, much in line with David Paget. And, David's worked really hard with Honest. And that's been a good thing to have David on the court with Honest because he's trying to make him play like David played. And he's a better shot blocker than David. He's not as tough as David yet because he obviously is, 223 pounds. But when we get him to the point where he's developed a good 16-foot jump shot, get him to the point where he's, 235 pounds, I think we're going to have something special. Now, that being said, it's going to take us 4 years because he came in at 177 pounds.
How hard is that challenge in putting weight on him? He jokes about using protein shakes.
It's really extra hard with him because he can't finish a meal. Like I take him to dinner and If he orders a steak, he'll eat half of it and bring half of it home. He'll eat a bite of his dessert and bring the thing home. His stomach fills up quickly, so he's got to store it away like a squirrel. It's a good comparison.
Was Pitt any different with, under Kevin? I mean, I know the two.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Was Pitt any different with, under Kevin with what we've seen in the past? And, I mean, they've got two guys who can really score.
Pitt's got 4 seniors in their starting lineup. How many teams in America have that? And they've got 2 guys who, probably the best scoring tandem in college basketball. They're not only, they always were great mid-range shooters, not a terrific three-point shooters. They got great three-point shooting. I'll bet I watched 5 films on them, and I haven't seen teams haven't been able to run 5% of their offensive sets. Now, 5%. I've not seen that in quite some time, because they switch every option, because they're all the same size, basically. And they take you out of every offensive set that you want to run. Now, Syracuse beat them because Syracuse made 14 threes from NBA plus range. And then their point guard, Gillen, took them off the bounce a little bit. So they are really difficult to play against because of their switching and like size. They do a lot of switching like we do, but we don't have the like size like they do.
I think they list Artis as the point guard, but he's not really. Is he?
I think Jones played. They do it by committee.
The one thing that stands out about them is they shot 54% against Virginia, which.
And scored 80-something points against Virginia. But they're a great offensive basketball team. But like I said, I mean, I have not seen too many teams get taken out of their offensive sets as much as this year. Because I mean, look at it. It's if you can believe the sizes, 6'9", 6'8", 6'7", 6'6", 6'8". When have you ever seen a college team like that? That's a unique advantage defensively when you have something like that.
Rick, it seems like you've really kind of been harping with this team about making sure they get the ball in the paint and take advantage of size. Is that key for this game? Because obviously you guys will have another size advantage.
Well, we've got to make sure that we shoot a good percentage in this game so we can get our pressure on. That's one thing. But, you know, it's out of all the teams that you're preparing for, they're all very different. Right now, I think the 2 different teams I've seen in college basketball are Pitt and West Virginia. West Virginia is very difficult because of the pressing on missed shots, and this team because of the way they switch with like size. So they're both very difficult to prepare for, and we've got to be ready for their switching, obviously, and we've been practicing very hard against it.
How does Young get most of his points? How does he so most effective?
Well, he shoots the 3. He's got Artis and Young both have as good 16-foot jumpers as there is in basketball. He'll post up. He's a great elbow one-on-one player.
Anything else? How, you talk about Richard being in the top 25 and what that means for you as a dad. It's been 4 years since they've been in the top 25, and for the start he's had this year and to make it in there, how cool that is for you to see.
Well, you know, I've experienced this. I tried to tell Richard, but, you know, sometimes a father to his son, even though he's going through it, I said, look, 7, 8 years ago, they were second-guessing Mick Cronin all over the place. And Mick has now built a perennial top 25 program. Then a few years later, he started second-guessing Kevin Willard. He's Big East Coach of the Year and has a fabulous season, having another fabulous season. And last year, they were second-guessing Richard. And it just takes, with all my coaches, I mean, now Kevin Keats has struck gold right away. Some do. It takes time to build culture and a program. And Richard's was even more difficult than everybody because Tubby left him players. And he won 25 games and won the NIT and was a layup away from missing against Northwestern, going to the tournament the first year. Now he loses all those guys, and now he's really in his first year because he got lucky. Tubby left him a great group of seniors. So now he has to start fresh in the Big Ten. And I watched him practice that year. I said, you're going to get your butt kicked this year. Good. Now we'll be okay. I said, no, you're not going to be okay. You got to dig in and get ready for it. And I was real proud of him last year because he had an incident that most young coaches wouldn't go through. You know, 4 players did the wrong thing. He thought it was wrong. There was no police charges, nothing like that. Everything was totally consensual, but he still suspended the players, realizing he's only going to win whatever he won last year, 6, 8 games. I was real proud of him that he just took a stand for doing what he felt was right in building the culture for his program. So he battled a lot of adversity, which Mick did, Kevin Willard did. Most coaches do battle that type of adversity. You know, Keats is, like I said, he's got it right away. Some coaches get it right away, some don't. But when you hit that adversity and then you have success, it makes it even that much more enjoyable to watch. And for me, the way he handled the adversity with class and dignity struck me as something I'm very proud of. Forgetting the basketball fact that he's in the top 25. The way he handled himself, a young coach, taking all the heat, taking all the criticism, and say, yep, we deserve it, we got to get better, never making any excuses about suspending players or anything, just looked square in the camera's eye and said, yep, we got to get better, we've got to do better. And I'm real proud of him.
How are your coaches working with your front court players to be more assertive inside, to really kind of, be more physical?
You know, I think our guys are very physical. I think Mango is a very physical person, but his body type doesn't allow him to create a lot of space for himself. Same thing with Anis and Ray. Jalen's very physical. I think they're all just that their body types are different. I think Ray right now is playing great basketball, terrific basketball. He's become a great interior passer, which is one fundamental we've been working really, really hard on. Him and Anis got great chemistry together with their passing to each other. They know where each other's at all times. Anis looks for Ray along the baseline. Ray will catch the ball and tip it to Anis. Anis has very good hands, so he catches difficult passes.
From the beginning with Anis, it always seems like he knows to kind of be in the right position. I mean, it seems like his footwork is always where his defense.
Yeah, I think that's a tribute to how hard he's worked at it, and I go back again to David Padgett's done a great job with him. You know, there's very few. Look, I've had 29 assistant coaches go on to be head coaches. I've had managers go on to be head coaches in the pros. But David's unique because he played for me, knows the system, but how many coaches do you get who are 6'11", and played the game, played in the system, and now is becoming a coach? So there's very few guys like that in the coaching profession. It's mostly people like myself who couldn't make it as a player that go into coaching. And by the way, the enormous pressure, you see it last night with football coaches. You don't understand the enormous pressure that we are under as basketball coaches. You think it's just like last night. Not only do I have the pressure of the toughest conference of all time and the toughest schedule we've ever faced, but come May 8th or 12th, I got to be in a 55-year-old basketball tournament where I got to bring my game back. And you know what it is to try and get into shape to play basketball again? The stress I'm going through every night to think about this during that period is killing me. You think it's Pitt, Indiana, Kentucky. It's not.
Is this Old Timers Invitational or what?
No, it's a big tournament. I thought somebody came up to me and said, would I want to play in this Masters League? And I said, well, when? I'm coaching. I said, in May, mid-May. Yeah, May I could do. I thought you were talking about golf. And I signed up for it, and it's basketball.
Will you be one of the oldest?
It's 55 and older, yeah. But my game is ready to go.
What's your top skill? You shooter? You have a ball handler?
I don't know. It's been a while. I'll find out.
At this point, are you what is it, stay hungry and humble, or will you talk some trash?
No, I'll stay humble, and I'm giving Fred Hina a free vacation down in Miami. He can stay at any hotel he wants just to stay near me when I break down. Any Pitt questions? All right, thanks, everybody.